Welcome to From the Concrete, the series that recognizes pioneers, innovators, trendsetters, and most of all, the next generation of changemakers by giving them their flowers now. I'm your host, Brianna Elmore, and today we have yet another amazing guest to share with you all. Today we have Alex Ivany.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to get into this episode with you. But before we get to this episode, we got to get into this bio because you are not playing around. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Alex Ivany is an accomplished editor with a diverse portfolio of credits, including the Academy Award nominated Netflix documentary 13th, directed by DuVernay. His work centers on themes of racial justice and social impact, contributing to groundbreaking projects such as the critically acclaimed television drama Queen Sugar, executively produced by Oprah Winfrey, which broke barriers both on screen and behind the scenes with its all-women directing team. Alex also edited Cherish the Day and Beyonce and Jay-Z's Family Feud. He has worked on August 28th, A Day in the Life of a People, starring Don Cheadle, Regina King, and Angela Bassett, and has edited for Disney's series Launchpad. Last year, Alex served as a producer and editor on the NAACP nominated documentary I Find Beauty. And he has a co-producer and he was a co-producer and editor on the satirical comedy 117 Years of Movie BS, which will be released later in 2025. Alex is a member of the Editors Guild, the Television Academy, and is currently in his first year of the ACE Diversity Mentorship Program. Alex, this bio eats. Okay.
I appreciate you.
It's just such a vast array of different things, and I just love that, and I cannot wait for us to get into it. Are you ready to dig into it?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Amazing. I'm so excited. Let's do it. Let's start with getting to know more about what led you on your path in getting to the root. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Amazing. I'm ready too. So we're going to put on our gloves first because it's getting some dirt. We getting down and dirty, but we don't want to be dirty.
Oh, yeah. We're all fresh. We want to stay fresh.
Exactly. Stay fresh. So these are some nice gloves. Put those on. I like them.
Can I take these home with me too? No, I'm just.
I was going to say, hey.
Yeah.
You know what? Anything is possible. All right. So my first question for you is, how has your childhood experiences shaped you into becoming the prolific editor that you are today?
Yeah, I mean, art was kind of always a part of my journey in my childhood. I grew up around a lot of art, and storytelling was a huge part of it. I grew up with a single mom who was a photographer, so I like to say that, she took the pictures, and I wanted to put them into motion with the filmmaking thing. And then there was always just kind of a camera around all throughout my childhood. Obviously she was a photographer, so she had her camera, but she would also but she would buy a DV cassette, video camcorder. And so I have all these childhood tapes. I was always, I always had a camera pointed at me. And a lot of times I was her model, go into this field and do this sort of thing, So I had a camera around at all times, and then when I got to be a little bit older, I started picking up the camera and playing around with it, and we finally got our own DV camcorder. She would buy it and then return it at the end of the month before 30 days. So we have these little snippets of moments throughout my life where it's like, there's 3 months, there's 2 years, and then.
But I think that's really cool, though.
Yeah. So it just kind of expanded, and I realized that I was fortunate enough to have access, and I realized at a really young age that you can make movies. It was like one of my mom's friends was actually a filmmaker, and she showed me one of her films, and she was like, this is one of my friends. And I was like, you can make these?
Yeah.
So it was kind of always in my head. And then, like I said, it was always there. It was always present throughout my childhood. And then I started gradually picking up a camera, editing my own little videos with friends. And then in high school, I did, there was a video production class that I did. And that was super foundational for me. I was able to make a short film that got into some festivals, and to see an audience. It was about the United Farm Workers and Cesar Chavez, and to see an audience really like react to it was really powerful, a moving experience. And yeah, it kind of took off from there. I went to film school, and just there's so many different experiences that I can point to that kind of pushed me in the direction of working in this industry and being a storyteller and artist. And I'm really grateful, because I don't know what else I would do.
But you know what? I think that it's really beautiful that you had an artist as a parent. You know what I mean? And so you got to be able to experience the world literally through a different lens, but then also it's like you look at the world differently, right? So you're able to find the art and just what would look like regular things to someone else.
Right.
You're able to probably find the art and to find the meaning, a deeper meaning. And I think has that contributed to the way that you edit, like the eye that you edit with, if that makes sense? Has that contributed to that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it helps you kind of navigate and like zoom out on, because all art is like big picture, small picture sort of things. So it's like, you could take a photograph, you can tell a story in a film, but you're always focusing on the little fine-tuned details, but then you always have to zoom out on like, what's the theme? What am I trying to say here?
Yeah.
It's not just art because it looks cool. I mean, some art is art because it looks cool, but you always have some sort of message that you're thinking. So yeah, it definitely was super valuable.
Yeah, and I think that the role of the editor is so important. And I feel like sometimes, like, especially in different productions, people are just like, so like, it's so much pressure to get everything like captured, right? And to get everything right and to get everything, the pre-production is a big push. And then the actual production is a huge push. And then it's like, oh yeah, it's gotta be some post. And I think that like everything can go right. And then it gets to editing and it can go either way. You know what I mean? It's just like, so I think that you in your craft is so important. It's literally like, it's one of the most important steps to make sure something is properly edited, because what I have been learning is like, you can have a really good script and it can be poorly edited, and it's not a good, it's not a good finished product. Or it could be the reverse, or everything could be cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like that editing step is so important. And I think that, again, you having that like background, and then also you touched on, you said in high school you did a short film. Like, that's major. Like you just brushed past that, but that's a big deal. Like, it's not like, it's not a small thing. To be able to produce and do a short film. So like, what was that process like for you, especially being in high school?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like, I'm incredibly grateful I had the access. Like, that's the whole thing about filmmaking. It's expensive. It's an educational curve and stuff. So a lot of people don't really get the opportunity to do it, at such a young age like I did. So I'm so grateful for that opportunity I had. And I wasn't like the best student or anything. So it was like, that was my outlet sort of thing, was filmmaking. And I did that class multiple times because I was so into it. It was like every year sort of elective. But yeah, it was, amazing. Like I don't know how else I would have gotten into film without that. It's just like, again, just the access is so important, and I'm trying to spread that and give that back too. And you know, hopefully with this podcast too, I can shine some light on, you know, you can do this. You can, there's more access now. It's getting a little bit easier and cheaper, but like believe in yourself and, you know, your story needs to be told. So,
and I think that that's important too, especially like you had that exposure so young. And I think that especially now where you see a lot of different art programs are not necessarily as amplified as they may have been at different points, you know what I mean? Like, I remember growing up and having an art class, and you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, that may not be somebody's child's reality today, you know, or that may not be an aspect that they're focusing on as much. So I think that that's so why the work that you do is so important. But then also even just raising visibility and just saying like, hey, these stories absolutely matter. And I think that for me, it's like, you know, I feel like everybody's story deserves to be told. However, I don't have the vantage point of being in every situation to have that representation. But what I can do is I can amplify these different stories with with whatever talent I can bring. So if that's me producing it, cool. If that's me, you know, helping write it, sure. Or like yourself in the post, like you have such an amazing just talent and gift because you get to be able to help all these different stories and all these different things. You get to help bring those to life for people to be able to like consume that art. So like that's pretty freaking major.
Yeah, it's a dream come true. I mean, it's like everyone has their story, but to be a part of other people's stories and amplifying, you know, mostly people of color's voices. I've mostly worked with Black and Latino film directors and producers, so it's been very transformational for my journey too. As you know, I was raised by a single mother in a very predominantly white town, and I didn't have I wasn't close with my dad growing up, so I didn't get a lot of access to, you know, my Black identity and Black history, and just being told, you know, about Black art throughout time and everything. So for me, when I became an adult, it was a lot of self-discovery through this work with, you know, first off working with Ava on 13th and being exposed to a whole history that I was kind of robbed of. It was like I was always told, like, you know, slavery and Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves and there was a civil rights era and this and that. And I'm like...
Yeah, and you gloss over it in February and then we keep it rolling, you know?
Right. And then I learned this whole history that connected me back with my culture and my trauma that I just didn't know about. And that was, you know, I was angry at first, but I've been able to like channel that into my work and, yeah, like you said, you know, use it as a tool to amplify different diverse voices and stories, you know.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that that's really beautiful that you have taken that part of yourself and you choose to hone your talent in on being able to do things like that and give representation. Because I know sometimes, like, you know, either you are in a town where you don't see anybody that doesn't look like you outside of your house, right? And so it's just like sometimes I know or you could see people that look like you, but then you're working in an environment that is nobody that looks like you. And then you still crave that kind of connectivity or that need to be seen and felt and, you know, and just understood. And so I think that what you do is just, it's so beautiful anyway. But like, I think that you're able to give that, you know, so another young Alex out there, right? So you're able to let that child see themselves and to authentically see themselves represented in whatever art you're producing. So I think that that's major. And like, I think that's also something that I have also been drawn to be able to tell stories, you know, for people, because it's been times in my life where I've, you know, gone to PWIs, for example, right? And it's just like, you don't see nobody that doesn't look like, you know, outside of a smaller group. And so you kind of crave that. that connectivity, you know, and so you seek out content, you know, so you seek out podcasts like this one, or you seek out, you know, different television programs and things like that. So I think that that's amazing that you were able to, you know, learn more about yourself through putting yourself into your art as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, this industry is so crazy, and there's kind of there's been a set way of doing things for so many years and like a century, but it's like, you know, we're discovering how to break down barriers and knock down our own doors, and, you know, realizing that it's like, it wasn't made for us. It was made for, you know, a completely different, it was made for a completely different type of people. And we've just like broken so many barriers in, you know, defying the odds in an industry that wasn't, you know, inclusive at all for so long, and still isn't inclusive. But, you know, we're slowly working towards it.
And then it's just like the point is to build these different, you know, platforms, and to build these different, you know, narratives, so that we can have, you know, no one person, no one ethnic group is monolithic. So it's you know, we need to always have different representation for, you know, everybody. Everybody has different intersectionalities that make them up. So it's just like, it's always important to kind of nurture all those different things. I could talk about this all day. We're gonna keep it rolling. Should I
put my seeds in?
Yes, put your seeds in. Give it a little water.
Right,
you know, give it a little water. Let it breathe in there.
Yeah. I'm like, is it too? Should I put it like?
You can put it all in there.
I don't know.
I put a little bit. It's a lot of little seeds in there. So you are such a multifaceted artist. So working on projects ranging from comedic to dramatic to documentaries and even music videos, what traits do you think contribute to this diverse resume of yours? Like, what's drew you, like, because those are such like different lanes and so distinct. And so like, what made you go into those, and then what different things do you pull from yourself to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to do this documentary this time, or I'm going to do this music video? Like, how do you kind of get into your zone to be able to be such a jack of all trades in that regard?
I appreciate that. You know, I think it's like curiosity and a yearning to understand human emotion, and just kind of, I've always been an observer. I feel like I've never been like the loudest one in the room or anything like that. I'm fine just, you know, watching and kind of being anthropological. I love history. I just love stories. So yeah, I think when I first came into this industry, when I went to film school, I was very drawn towards documentaries, and I wanted to tell real stories and, you know, travel around the world and talk, you know, tell about marginalized voices and things like that. But then I started working on a little bit of narrative stuff, and I realized it can be just as powerful. Like, you know, it can be true, it can be fictional, but it still has, you know, it still can relay a deep message and move people towards change. And so I was like, okay, now, you know, maybe I'm not a documentary guy. Maybe I'm a little bit of everything. And then, you know, dabbled in music videos a little bit and short form stuff. And it's just like, there's so many different ways to tell stories. And I'm not trying to be a one-trick pony, you know?
Yeah, because then it's just like, I think too, as being a creative, it's like then you get held in that one zone. And so I think that's why it is important to have just kind of like anything that can speak for yourself. Like, I can do this, however, you know, whatever you need. And I think that also like, documentaries are amazing and they're necessary, but sometimes it's like when is the last time somebody like quoted a line from a documentary? You know what I mean? So sometimes like, with the narrative stuff, like those type of messaging and that stuff, it in songs too, it's like that can last longer. And so that impact is there. So I think that that's really cool that you were able to be like, you know what, actually, let's expand this a little bit more and let's dig Let's dig deeper, okay?
No pun intended.
Yes,
Hey.
I love a good pun.
Yep.
But, let's dig deeper and find meaning in everything. And that
Right.
way, everything that you end up doing ends up being meaningful. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you can find meaning in everything, everything can be meaningful.
Right. Yeah, no, that's so important. And I mean, as an editor, you're also telling, it's not your story that you're telling, so it's even more important to find meaning in it, because it's like the creator, the storyteller, they've already found meaning in it. They're telling that story. So, picking stories and working with people who it gives you that spark and makes you bloom.
Yeah. Come on with the
Let's
pun. Now, you've done so much in your career, but we would love to know how you fill your own cup and pour into yourself. Are you ready to get into it?
I think so.
All right. So I think I can. Well, the first one what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of tea so you can literally nourish yourself in this interview here. And so I'm going to pour here.
I appreciate it.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And then we're also going to make sure that we're pouring into our plants as well. So, editing is a very time-consuming and sometimes lonely process. So how do you pour into yourself after spending a lot of your time isolated and probably overworked?
Yeah, it's super isolating. It's, it's very collaborative too, because you're working with a director, producer. You have a team, so a lot of meetings and stuff like that. But yeah, it can be a lot of isolating, especially during the editing cut period, when it's kind of like the team shot and they go off and I get to do my thing with the edit.
Yeah.
And disappear for a little while and go into my hole. And first of all, I love it. I'm naturally a little bit of an introvert, so it's a fine environment for me. I don't get too overwhelmed by that.
Yeah.
But of course you need to get out and see community and
see
people,
some daylight,
some daylight,
touch some grass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have some potted plants on my patio, so I gotta water those sometimes too. And I love it because plants are a good reflection on how you're doing, because you never know, are they getting too much sun? Am I watering too much? And you kind of have to look at it and then evaluate yourself too. It's very similar to ourselves.
Okay, so we actually had someone with a good old green thumb in here, so you keep a plant.
Yeah, I inherited a lot of those plants.
You did?
Honest. Yeah, I did, from the previous person who lived there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was really kind of them.
I know. They're big.
Because people get attached to their plants,
Yeah,
So.
she was like, take care of my babies. And I'm trying. But
what if she drove past and just saw?
I know. She's like, that one's not doing too good. Not thriving as much.
Right. Do you give your plants names?
I don't. I should.
Listen, it might help. You can talk. My aunt loves a good plant, and so she talks to them.
Yeah.
So you got to talk to them and help them grow.
I've heard that. Heard that. Hug them if they're big enough.
Yeah.
Give them love. Yeah.
So you like to plant. You like to get outside, and do you have so how do you create those boundaries when it's time to okay, it's I'm sure your mind is always in edit mode, right?
Yeah,
so it's how do you turn that off?
I know it's hard
and
to
get
turn
to just be ooh, all right, I can just be myself.
Yeah, it's hard to turn off because it's I love it so much too that I want to do it, and it's I have to give myself grace to not feel guilty about being away from my desk and going for a walk and getting some sunshine. So yeah, it's hard, I think it's just putting a limit. When I was younger, in my 20s, I would work way overtime and way too long. I had so much energy.
Yeah.
And then I got to a certain point where I'm I don't know if I can work around the clock like this. It's a little draining.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
I'm going to kill myself doing this.
Yeah.
So I've definitely taken time, especially these past few years, to slow it down, take breaks in between projects, go on a vacation to recharge. I did like a solo vacation in January. I had a little break. So yeah, just taking those moments and then
We support a solo-cation around here. So
solo-cation. Yeah, it's always good and really relaxing. So.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you are like especially taking that time to slow down because it could probably just keep coming, and especially when your natural temperament like kind of just falls into pocket with this role.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, well, I'm already chilling, and I'm good. Like I'll just go ahead and do this and do my own thing, and kind of take your time or do it on your own terms. So I think it is important to be like, no, you have to stop.
Right.
You have to. Truly, you have to just like take a deep breath,
right,
and recalibrate for just a second. And I imagine, like, how do you feel definitely coming off of when you do take a pause for yourself, and like how do you come back into it, and how do you care for yourself going back into the groove?
Yeah, it can be a little shocking at first, to be honest, if you do take if it's an elongated break like a solo-cation, it's like you come back into it and you're like, it's a little bit of muscle memory, and you're like, I need a day or two to really get back into it. But then once you do, it's just flowing out of you, and yeah, you're back. Once you're back, you're back. But
I know if I'm taking some PTO, I pad in like my travel day, but then the day after travel because I'm tired still. It's like I don't want to get off the plane and go to sleep, and then I gotta get up and go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like you gotta
the location you were at.
Yeah, you always gotta be strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
And so what would you say are some habits that you've adapted to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as you continue to work professionally? So like when you can't get to the solo-cation quite yet, like how are you taking care of your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical while you're working?
Yeah, I think it starts with just remembering like the meaning of it and why I do it. And usually I'm working on a project that I'm very driven about, so it's kind of inherently in there already. It's like, yeah, I could be exhausted and want to take a break, but just be so invested in it that I'm like, this is I just don't want to step away
because it's your passionate. It's like this is like this story, and again, I think that goes back to tying through like that intentionality that you have to move with when taking things on and deciding to do what,
Exactly.
Say you're editing something and it's just like, this is rough and tough. Like, you know what I mean? This is pulling like all the stops out of you. Like, how do you deal with that in the moment? Like maybe a frustrating thing maybe not frustrating, but something that's like, it's really difficult or very intricate to complete. How do you deal in those situations?
I think going into, I would look at a beautiful piece of art, basically. Like all art is inspired by art. And so a lot of the projects I work on, they come to me in the beginning with references. Like, this is the dream sort of thing we're trying to make, and not a replicate, an original idea. So kind of a lot of times I'll go back to that reference they gave me. Usually it's a masterpiece, and just sit down and watch it and just like be awestruck by the grandeur or how amazing it is. Like,
listen, I'm gonna tell you now. First of all your stuff, but I'm a Beehive member, so Family Feud was so beautifully done. Like it just looks so good. It looks so regal, and it just was like. Yeah. You're like, yeah, you're right. Nobody wins when the family feuds. That's right. You know what I mean? But you actually get to feel that messaging, and you get to see, you kind of get a peek into just the intention that they had behind it and the vision that they had. And obviously that can't be done if you hadn't been working and executing that. So, you know what I mean? So I think that that's important because that inspiration to be able to carry those themes out and to be able to make it resonate the way that it did. Like, again, I'm just using that as an example because I love me some Beyonce.
Yes.
Yeah. I think everybody do.
Me too. Yeah. A lot of things I've worked on too. We're drawing from her work.
Yeah.
Also, Black is King, Lemonade.
Yeah.
So much genius stuff that she's come out with. That
I know that lady is like, ugh.
Yeah, that's one of those masterpieces where it's like, all right, I'll sit down and watch this to, get back in my workflow and be inspired.
Yeah, and then also, like, do you ever just go back and look over your over your portfolio and be like, you know what, I did that, and I know I can do this. You know what I mean? In those times, do you ever use yourself to inspire yourself? Do you ever do that?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I have in my office, edit office, I keep up posters of films I've worked on as inspiration. I have one for 13th. I have one for Ivany, and I have a Queen Sugar poster.
Oh, wow. And all
right
of those are
behind me.
so beautifully done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, like, it's cool to see those and be like, I had a fingerprint on those, a piece on those, and they're significant, for the world and important. And yeah, I'm really proud of that. And
you should be. I'm proud of it for you.
But also, I'm always trying to get to the next step, and I feel like everyone is, no matter where you are in your career. It's just like you always have your sights on something else. So
yeah,
I'm still hungry. I stay hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Stay hungry, but it's not a crumb on the table. Now, let's get a little wild and a little nosy in Wildflower, a rapid this or that game. You ready?
I think so. I'm a little scared.
I don't think you should. Don't be scared. Don't be
All
scared. Right. It's fun. Scripted or documentary?
Oh, dang. You're going to make me
This might be a tough one for you.
Can I do like a hybrid?
I'll let you do one cheat. You can't cheat on no more. You got
hybrid.
All right, that's going to be the hybrid. I typically let people do one cheat.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Editing or directing? See, you already used your cheat so early. You got to commit.
I mean, I got to go with editing because you can't have anything without the edits. So
seriously, you can have a bad project or a good project based off of the edit.
Yeah.
All right. See, we not roughing you up that bad.
This isn't too bad. Only child or siblings? Ooh, this one's tough for me. I'm an only child. I have half brothers that I didn't really grow up with. So I always feel like I kind of wanted the sibling thing. So I'll go with siblings.
I get that.
With siblings, yeah.
I have siblings. It's a pretty good time. I don't really know how I would do solo. I feel like you got to share somebody.
A lot of creativity, a lot of imagination.
Yeah. Afro beats or rap?
Oh.
Ooh. We might have found one a thinker that one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go rap on that only because I've been a hip hop head for many years now, and I got into Afro beats more recently than it came. I discovered it later, so I'm gonna go hip hop on that one.
All right, who's your favorite?
My favorite, I'm gonna go old school, a little old school. I'm gonna go Nas.
Oh,
yeah,
we love Nas over here.
Yeah,
I love Nas. So
yeah, Queensbridge.
Yeah.
Independent or studio? Independent all the way. Unless the studio is like, it's a quality project.
Yeah,
I'll go.
But independent, you feel probably more empowered, I would have to imagine, right?
You feel more empowered. It's usually a smaller team, so you're collaborating closer, and there's less executive decisions up top.
And you get to go there, and get more authentic stuff, probably.
Yeah.
Instead of having somebody tell you what to do,
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different heads in a studio. So
it's like you have a vision, then the vision's getting dictated. It's
right.
All right.
With that being said, hire me studio. It's all good.
We do still want to work with you.
We like studios too. Queen Sugar or Cherish the Day?
Ooh.
I'll go Queen Sugar on that one.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like it was a pretty influential show for the community and for myself.
Well, that was it. You did wonderfully on this Wildflower.
I like that. That was fun.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
We know that no one can do this alone, and give them their flowers. We would love to know who is inspiring you. So, Alex, who would you like to give flowers to and why?
So there's a number of people, all collaborators. Well, first of all, I have to give my flowers to my mom, first of all.
Period. Listen.
Yeah, period. So all wouldn't be possible without her. She gave me everything I could ask for, and was a strong, powerful woman.
And shout out to Mom. She sounds like an amazing woman, and just to be able to put all that art out there and put that into you, that's beautiful. So yes, shout out to Mom.
Yeah, good foundation, good roots.
Yes. We love a pun.
Yep, love it. But I also want to shout out and give my flowers to a lot of the collaborators I've worked with. I've worked with some amazing woman directors, including Ava DuVernay, who we were talking about, and she really gave me my first opportunity in the editor's chair. I was assistant editing for her for a while, and she saw how hard I was working, and she asked me to be an editor, a lead editor, and I probably wouldn't have gotten that opportunity in a lot of other places. I was still very green, and she really, and she does that with a lot of people, which is opening doors and letting everyone get a seat on the table.
And we love that type of representation. And again, it's all about continuing to leave the door open for other creatives, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I have to give my flowers to her, and then I have to give my flowers also to Ivany Gilbert.
Yes, Ivany. We love Ivany. Give Ivany all the flowers possible.
Yes, she's an amazing filmmaker who I worked with on Ivany. And I actually met her many years before. She gave notes on a film I was working on with our bro Adisa. But I just want to give her flowers because she's not just an amazing filmmaker, but an amazing person, and just like lights up a room and always has this glowing energy about her. So, I love collaborating with Ivany and supporting her vision and her talents a lot. And then there's been quite a few directors I've worked with on. Obviously, I mentioned Queen Sugar, all woman directors. So there's been quite a few directors through there that have helped shape me into who I am now, and helped me, really taught me a lot. Taught me a lot, and I think that's been really important for me. And then I do want to mention. I want to mention my bro Spencer Averick and give him his flowers because he was the one who brought me on to 13th originally when I was way underqualified. And we connected. We're both from the Bay Area and just bonded over a lot of things in a meeting. And he's like, I'm going to take a chance with you. So, I want to thank the people who took chances on me, Spencer and Ava, and I'm probably leaving out a few people. I want to shout out Candace Vernon, another really talented director that I worked with recently.
Because you have such, like again, we talked about this. The credits are crazy. So you have definitely worked with some amazing people. Yeah. So you said Kansas.
Yeah, Candace Vernon. There's a whole lot more. I could list a bunch. Shout out to Sierra Shooter, Cloud, Lauren Wilkinson. There's a lot of. I'm gonna leave someone out, and it's gonna be bad. But everyone I've worked with, who it was a great collaboration with. I appreciate that, and have grown a lot from it and learned from it. So.
Well, you know what? It doesn't surprise me like that you have all these like beautiful people to be able to thank, because it's just truly you're so kind, and I can see how you have such a amazing community cultivated around you. But because you are so amazing, we have to conclude this episode by giving you your flowers as well, because we are so inspired by you, your work, and your message, and how you rose from the concrete. So we have flowers for you.
Oh.
So we have your
Thank
flowers
you.
for you.
Oh,
And we want to give them to you while you can still smell them. And we have a card for you, too.
oh, sweet. I
So,
appreciate it.
yes, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you taking time to really share with us your journey and to just be so candid. And again, this was just so warm, and it was such an amazing time talking to you and getting to know you. So thank you so much for that. And before you leave us, do you have anything that you'd like to share with our viewers?
I've a few projects I've worked on recently that I can't really talk too much about,
Yeah.
but I will say the short film I worked on, 117 Years of Movie BS. It has a slightly different name.
Yeah.
But
the BS is the long version of BS.
right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be out later in 2025 and hopefully have a nice festival run. But that's a short film. It's a 30-minute film that could kind of be a pilot and has plans to be a feature or a series, which really examines the 117 years of movie history and how Black folks have been portrayed on screen, and it examines a lot of really important things in a satirical, dark comedy way. So that I'll shout that out, and I think it was an indie project, but I think it's really good.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to support that and to be able to see that, because that does sound like something I would absolutely be interested in watching. Because
it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm so happy that you were here and that we got to talk to you. And thank you, Alex. And we'll see you all on the next episode of From the Concrete.